My name is Melissa Martin, and this is my EDUC 630 technology lesson demonstration. Padlet has been around a while, but is constantly upgrading and adding new features. Two longtime teacher favorites with similar features, Google Jamboard and Flipgrid, have been recently discontinued, and Padlet is stepping up their game to fill the void. Padlet is a great option for class discussions, collaboration, and galleries of multimodal presentations. I have never used Padlet in the classroom, though it was briefly modeled for me at a professional development session at my former school. However, I did use Google Jamboard frequently as it was so easy to access and apply during Google Meets with my students. I was excited to try out Padlet and see how it could align with and support my lesson and objectives. I have chosen to incorporate Padlet into my English language arts lesson on the book Freedom Walkers by Russell Friedman. Since Freedom Walkers is an informational text, one lesson objective would be to identify and analyze the central idea and key details of the text. Since it's the beginning of a new unit, I will see what the students already know, their base of background knowledge, by having the students collaborate on a KWL Padlet. KWL stands for Know, Want to Know, and Learned. This ties in to the lesson objective of identifying key details of the text. So this is an example of a worksheet that I would normally just print off and distribute to students, and they would each individually work to add to these columns. I like the idea of the students being able to see other students' posts, since this will simultaneously increase their engagement and their background knowledge. The KWL chart is normally done individually, so a collaborative class KWL chart will expose the students to more related ideas as they can see the other students thinking, and perhaps their memories will be refreshed if they've studied anything at all before about civil rights, and ultimately maybe stir their curiosity. This will also remain a working document as students will return later to add to the learned column. So in this Padlet presentation, I embedded a link here to the KWL chart Padlet that I created for my class to use. So when you create a new Padlet, there are a lot of options. You can change your wallpaper, color, and there's a ton of options. You add your title, a description, you can add an icon which appears next to your title. One really cool feature is that you can change the format at any time, so how the information is presented. So for this Padlet, I chose columns, which works perfectly for KWL. So the first column is what I know, and these are examples that I posted for my students to see to get the Padlet started. So I would share this Padlet just by copying a link and posting that in my Google Classroom or whatever learning management system your school uses. I would give the students permission to write, to be able to add to the Padlet. So each student would click on the link to the Padlet. They'd be brought here. I would instruct them to add one post to the first column, what I already know, and one post to the middle column, what I want to know. And then they would be instructed to leave the third column for a later time. So each student would click the plus button, and here there's options that the Padlet creator can choose. You can limit the responses to just text, or you can allow the students to create video recordings, audio recordings, and add pictures. So just for an example, the student would click that plus button, they'd add some text, and they would click publish, and you would see the student's name and what they wrote. And that is my example of using Padlet in the classroom. Thank you.